already know just where I be, dog. I ain't being cocky, but Philly what I'm reppin'. Watch me check it like it's hockey. I ain't tryna get it twisted. If you get it, then you got me. If you with it, cool. If not, I'll treat you like a Tamagotchi. I'ma let you down point. Yeah, I never disappoint.
What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to some NHL 19. We have the beta for at least that game. And we've been playing it for a whole one game. We've only, like I said, we've only played one game of this. This is the only game I've played of this so far. And I kind of want to go through my initial thoughts and, you know, kind of my my thoughts going forward. Now, like I said, this is my only game played so far. So what you have seen in the gameplay is exactly what I was experiencing in my only game so far. So let's just start off with, I guess, the look of the game. We'll start with that, I guess. You know, looks is basically the same as always. I mean, nothing really changed there. The feel of the game, I guess we'll go to that next. Feel of the game, it just seems too, how do I want to put this? Too loose in a way. To where, if you guys remember, what was it? NHL, was it NHL 16 or 17? That the pace of play and the way the game felt was super fast, and that's essentially how this game feels, except for it feels like almost you're playing on your tippy toes the entire game. Like, that's kind of how it, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but it's kind of how I feel it is. And you know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just because I'm used to NHL 18, and you know, I'm not really sure. At least that's how it felt for me in this initial game. But, you know, I texted my brother immediately after this game, and, you know, I told him the game was terrible. And, you know, terrible might be a little on the exaggerated side of that. But from what we're used to, you know, the disappointing games every year from EA that we usually encounter, this is probably the worst a game's felt at the beta. And usually, for the most part, unless something is super broken, then not really much changes between the beta and the actual game. So this is kind of how I expected it to be, you know, when it comes out in September. So we still have a month until then. But I'm not really seeing any major changes to the game, to be completely honest. I mean, it feels super loose. The pace of play seems, I don't want to say just right, but it seems a little kind of too fast in a way, to where we want fast-paced gameplay, but we don't want super fast to where, you know, you can't even tell what's going on in the game. Like, if you watch an actual hockey game, it doesn't go this fast. It doesn't, unless you literally never stop moving. It doesn't make sense. But I kind of want to go over some of the points that I made, at least texting my brother. And, you know, I told him why. And, you know, they were kind of a little bit exaggerated. I'll give them that. But I want to start with the new hitting system. And this was kind of their big selling point, I guess I'll call it, this year, was this new hitting system, along with, I think there was skating or whatever, too. Well, we'll get to that part. The hitting system. So, you look at a guy like, at least in my, you know, experience so far during this game, I tried to obviously hit with the guys that I know would usually have a good impact on the hit. So that was my Alexander Ovechkins, my Tom Wilson, and those types of guys, right? The guys that I know can hit and hit pretty well. And let's just say it did not go very well. And not only did it not go very well, but it seemed extremely broken, to where a guy like Alexander Ovechkin or Tom Wilson couldn't hit guys like Krug or Marchand. But if it was the other way around, you know, the Ovechkin would go flying. So, a little bit backwards of probably what it should be. But definitely doesn't feel good, at least the new hitting system. You know, the fact that they try to make that as their kind of their selling point this year really surprises me. Especially when it's not really good, I guess is the word I want to use here. But then you use a guy like Devontae Smith-Pelly, who's, you know, a fourth liner, maybe a third liner at best, or if you pair him with a guy like Ovechkin and Backstrom or Kuznetsov or whoever, it makes him feel like a superstar, right? You see this play coming up here, or if you already saw, I don't know, but he makes a perfect poke check, outskates the guy, and then makes a really, really good play as a what? I didn't actually see the overalls of the players, but it just didn't make sense. But then you look at this penalty. Alexander Ovechkin, right? He knows how to hit. He tries to hit a guy like Marchand, doesn't work. But then he hits a guy like, I think it's McAvoy coming up, but he two-steps McAvoy, and it's a boarding call. But yet he can lead up, step up with his defenseman, halfway across the ice, and he doesn't get a call. But then that happens, and I get a 5-minute major, and I'm out of the game. So, doesn't really make sense, especially with the fact that, the new hitting system is supposed to be this great new thing, but then it kind of sucks. So, I don't know. Not really the biggest fan of the hitting system. It's still just as broken as last year, to where if Krug tries to go up against, Chara, just say, then Krug could absolutely rock Chara, but the other way around, it just doesn't work. So, all in all, I don't get it. The hitting system, if that's their big selling point, then I'm real disappointed with that. However, the other new thing is the skating system. I said earlier that it kind of feels like you're playing on your tippy toes the entire game. And the movement just doesn't seem, realistic, right? The up, I guess I'll put it down into two different pieces. The upper body seems pretty okay, but the lower body, it doesn't seem real at all, basically. And, you see me, skate up the ice with Kuznetsov, one of the best young centers in the game. And, he could skate through people no problem. But then he goes to try to dangle or something, and he sucks at it, which in real life, he's pretty good at it. Also look at, when you're skating around, getting the puck away from the opponent, which is obviously something you want to do. It seems like the AI predicts you perfectly every time. Right? If you go around the net to the right-hand side, they're going to follow you there. Or if it's to the left-hand side, they're going to follow you there. It's not like you can shake off the defender in this game. You can dangle somebody and, get them out of position and get, past them or whatever the case is. You should be able to do that. But look at this play upcoming here. We're in the neutral zone, and there's 3 guys skating for me. Right? The user and then 2 of the other guys. So it doesn't really make sense in the fact that the skating just seems just as broken as the hitting, and the overall gameplay is completely foreign to what it was last year, and completely outplaying this guy for the entire game up until this point, and he gets the only goal. So, you know what? I just don't really get that because I've had more chances, and we had this conversation last year. We've had more chances. I don't know about shots, but we've had a lot of really good shots, really good chances, and we don't convert any of those times. We just don't get a good chance. But then he goes in, gets one odd man break, and scores. So a little strange in that aspect. But, we got the chances, we got the opportunities there, but it just seems like, look at this play right here. Boom. This would go in every single time. Goes around the net, shoots it, gets that little cheese goal, I guess I'll call it, and it doesn't work. Let me go with, we try to skate around Chara. Now, yes, Chara's a big guy. Yes, Chara is strong. But can he really just fold Oshie like he's a 4-foot-tall hockey player? Is that realistic? No. Come on. And then we get crushed by, I think that was Carlo or McQuaid or somebody back there. But, look at this. Off of a stupid play, the same exact goal goes in twice. Once for each of us. Right? They get the odd man rush, skate around him, cross crease, shoot, score. We have the other fact that Chara, the 6'9", 250-pound or whatever he is, pound defenseman who is not known for deking or being skillful and just being a good defenseman, he all of a sudden can deke around like his name's Connor McDavid. What's with that? All of a sudden, this 6'9" guy defenseman who is not a deker that puts up not a lot of points a year, and all of a sudden is Connor McDavid. Like, his middle name is Connor McDavid in the game. How? But then you go to the guy like Kuznetsov, who eventually, sometime in this game, I perform a beautiful through the legs deke, and it doesn't work. Right? He loses it in front of the net. I think it's right here, if I'm not mistaken. No, not right here. This is when I get tripped. But if you look for it, I mean, it's there somewhere. But Kuznetsov, very good player. He should be able to perform that deke every single time. But then all of a sudden, he just doesn't do the deke when I need it to work perfectly. And we don't score. So, I mean, the skating, the hitting, the feel of the game is just... it's the same as always. We always get super hyped over the new things, and then they end up disappointing us so far. I think I already mentioned this earlier in the video, but penalties are so broken. Then the fact that it is way too easy to get a penalty. Way too easy. I mean, you saw me, this guy, I'll give you a spoiler. This guy has 41 hits at the end of the game. 41. That's insane. I think I have like 15 or something like that. Where you'd be lucky to get 10 plus in NHL 18. But this guy had 41. 41 hits. How do you have 41 hits? Oh, that's right. He only went for hits in this game. Very rarely did he actually go for a stick check. Like, he always just skates at me trying to hit me. Wonder why. Because it's broken. But it's way too easy to get penalties, not only with the hitting part, but with, stick checks, with poke checks, basically anything. I mean, you saw the play earlier with Ovechkin, in the second period, to where, it should not have been a boarding call, but it was a 5-minute, he got kicked out of the game. I mean, you saw the same play from, a million other different people, and it didn't work. So why is all of a sudden it's Ovechkin, so it all of a sudden works? Then you have a guy like Brooks Orpik, who is a very good defenseman, right? More of a defensive defenseman that's a good defensive defenseman, so he's good at defense. And Char comes next to him, performs a perfect poke check, and it doesn't work, and it trips him. It trips the 6'9" behemoth that is Zdeno Chara. Tell me how that makes sense. And then also, I forgot to mention this earlier with the gameplay itself, but the computers, once again, are stupidly overpowered to where you go into the corner and you have 3 of them there waiting for you. I mean, you saw me. I just got the puck. The user, one other guy, were already there. And then the third guy was starting to skate towards me, but then stopped. Like, what is that? I don't want to be triple teamed every time I touch the puck. So that's another thing that needs to be fixed. But then you also saw a couple times during this game where I've gotten the puck directly in the middle of the ice, or I should say in the middle of the offensive zone, and I have a perfect shot opportunity. I shoot it, and it seems like it has no power on it. And I know some of these guys, like Kuznetsov, are very good shooters. So why is it not going in, right? I'm ripping it top corner to where, usually it'd be a goal. At least I feel like it would. And then it's not. So, again, don't really get it. But I should also mention that I tried not to cut out, most of the gameplay. However, the game also felt pretty long. I don't know if that anyone else feels like that. But this gameplay was like 29 minutes long or something like that. So I had to cut, a few minutes, actually like 10 minutes out of it. And, it just seems super long. So I don't know if the period lengths are a little bit different or what exactly. But the overall gameplay length feels way too long. Like that 20 minutes should be like the game. It shouldn't be like the half-hour gameplay. It shouldn't be a thing. Especially when the play clock has been pretty much constantly going. So I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's period length or what exactly, but it just feels a little bit too long, especially for, an NHL game. The periods are 20 minutes. That's kind of what it should be, is like a 20-minute game, so you're not super bored. Like, if you're in a super close double overtime game and it takes 30 minutes, okay, I get it, right? The game's super long, we get it. But this is just a normal game, and it's performing like that. So, I don't really get that. I wish it was a little bit shorter, but obviously I'm not the developers of the game, so I can't really decide that. But once again, I get triple teamed down in the corner. So that kind of sucks. And then we go to the last point that I have for this video is the passing. And once again, the passing is extremely broken to where, you know, it's so hard to even do anything with. Like, you look at this great little play. I try to cut to the left, make Beagle go to the right, and then all of a sudden, he just doesn't pass even remotely close to where I want it to go. And you see me on a breakaway or even a good offensive chance here, and it just seems like I don't even know how to pass the puck. Then here's also something I forgot about. You watch this play, and I think that was McAvoy going on a nice offensive or defensive opportunity with, I think that was Christian Juice, and he pushes him over like it's nothing. Like, what the heck is that? They're not even close. Like, I should go around him every time. McAvoy should just cut to the inside there and just play whatever he's going to do. But then I perform one hit, and it makes me fight. That's the other thing. Fighting, why? Just stop. No, just get it out of the game. Not out of the actual game, but out of this game. Like, either make it so both people have to accept the fight, or just make it disabled, or something. That's all I really have. I mean, it kind of wraps up here. 2-1 game, 20 seconds left. He goes down for icing, and he ends up quitting the game. But, his stats were pretty close. The only thing that wasn't close was the hits, and it was 19-41. So, I don't really get it, but if you guys did enjoy, hit the like button down below if you have not already. Hit the subscribe button, and as always, guys, we'll see you next time.
You forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body so I can take you wherever. Like, I want you forever, even when we're not together. Scars on my body, I can look at you and never